If you're looking for quality designs, look no further than Bradley Shaw Designs. Bradley Shaw Designs can design anything from wraps, banners, posters, promotional items, and more. Bradley Shaw Designs is the exclusive digital graphics partner of the Renegade Monster Truck Tour and Route 2 Motorsports. If you're looking for more information, please check out www.bradleyshawdesigns.com.
This isn't your typical motorsports podcast. You're listening to Crush This, a monster truck podcast presented by High Octane Coffee and J Concepts. A show where we take you inside the minds of your favorite drivers, past and present, of the monster truck industry. And now, your hosts, Brad Shaw and Dan Chichagash. Buckle in. The show starts now.
Welcome to Crush This, a Monster Truck Podcast. It's also Wednesday. Just to let you guys know that some stuff happened around for tomorrow, and instead of rescheduling, well, we did reschedule. We rescheduled today instead of tomorrow. Brad's right now practicing his band over there in his church over there in Grand Prairie, and so he couldn't make it this time. And Steven's right. The beginning is the best part. Same intro like in wrestling. Then there's me. What's up? But anyway, yeah. So we are doing it right now today to make some openings and stuff like that. But next Tuesday, I want to let you guys know it's gonna be Zach Gardner in the Wild Side Monster Truck. That will be this Tuesday, and then I'll afterwards, I think in a couple days, I'll announce Thursdays. But also, thank you to High Octane Coffee, J Concepts, Back Channel Productions, 6B Apparel. We got the crew shirts for sale like I had before. This one's the old logo one, and then we also got the New Wave. They're $100 a pop. Just inform me and Brad, and then we'll contact Chris from 6B, and we can get that started for you. Also, we're going to have Marty Garza's Monster Truck Technology book, and then also JB Scale Graphics. Thank you. He was on yesterday, and he just explained about the material that he has. He's officially licensed by Bigfoot, Bad Habit, Obsessed, Against the Grain, and others, Overkill Evolution, and others. And there will be more to come. And also Bradley Shaw Designs. He will be at the Lincoln Speedway in Pennsylvania for the Renegade Monster Truck Tour, October 24th. Go see him and give him a shout out, some love, and everything like that. But thank you for everyone that's supported us. And also below the cloth, I think collar. They're a t-shirt company in Chicago, Illinois. They sell our t-shirts. We have a few designs on. We just need 25 sales and more, and we can get the next design in. They're $20 a t-shirt, and I think they range all the way up to 5XL. So go ahead and check that out. But then also this weekend for me, we are doing a local display in Rantoul, Illinois. We're going to have our picture truck there and some merchandise, a nice, pretty cool festival going on right there. So it would be pretty cool to go and check out. So that's about it. It took about 5 minutes to go what's going on, so it can't be that bad. But this time I'm going to introduce the guest here today. And he started out basically like most of us that want to live the dream of a monster truck. And he's going all the way right now, racing for the likes of Bill Payne and also Mike Christensen, and then Paul Jensen and Full Throttle Motorsports. And I think it'd be pretty cool to talk to him about what's going on. So I'm going to bring him in, and that's Dawson Rayas. I probably screwed up your name again. My brain farted.
No, it's all good, man.
Rayas. Yeah, Rayas. Dang
Yep.
it. But, how's it going, man?
We're doing pretty good, man. We're doing good. Just chilling out here in Utah, getting ready for the shows this weekend.
Yeah, buddy. I love that. I love that little flag that's behind you. It seems like it's going popular all around.
Yeah.
Saturdays are for monsters.
Sweet.
Yeah. The only change I would say would probably be like Friday and Saturday, but mostly Saturday.
The weekends are for monsters, man.
Yes, there we go. The weekends are for monsters. Can't beat that. But let's go back and let's talk about a little bit of storyline, and let's start from the beginning. What got you intrigued to monster trucks? Were you always a fan of it, or was it? A lot of people say they kind of got into it by accident, and somehow they haven't left.
No, it was no accident, man. This is what I've always wanted to do since I was a little kid, man. I remember watching, World Finals 1 and 2 on pay-per-view back in the day. You know what I mean? I've always wanted to do this, and just kind of never stopped, believing in or trying to get in anywhere I could. I went to shows, all over my home state, out of state, you know what I mean? Anywhere I could see monster trucks, I went. You know what I mean? I went to Redmond, Oregon in 2017 to help Bill Payne out, actually. And that was my first time ever kind of being around trucks for the entire weekend. I did a little bit of stuff with the Groth twins at my hometown show in Splendid, Oregon. Helped them out a couple times. And, they referred me to Bill because Bill was more of a hands-on / like bigger crew and just, did a lot more than them at the time. So I said, yeah, sure. I went out there and helped them out for the weekend and, went to say thank you at the end of the weekend, just like every other, Sunday, just head on home and, don't think about it. And, maybe we'll see, a different team down the road or, another opportunity will come up somewhere. And he called me about an hour after I left and said, if you want to come up to the shop for a week, I have a bunch of work to do. So, I'll put you to work. I was like, okay. So I went up there for the week and kind of just did a lot of the daily routine stuff that monster truck people do, you know what I mean? From checking all the fluids and, make sure trucks are all good from, the previous show and getting ready for the next show. And then we kind of head out from there. I got a full-time job with him, worked there for 3 years. And it was a lot of fun, a lot of hard work, a lot of time. A lot of passion and effort went into those 3 years, and I learned a lot, man. He, by a lot of people I've met, people don't like Bill, but I mean, I like the guy. I mean, he's a very hard worker. He is the true definition in my eyes of what an independent monster truck guy is, from building his own shocks, steer rams, parts. I mean, he's even making planetars and bowl gears now. You know what I mean? He's doing the whole nine. So he's, he taught me a lot. He taught me kind of what I do know today, from, driving semis to, driving a monster truck to working on the monster truck, to kind of, handle being yelled at in the industry. You know what I mean? The whole nine, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then last year I would crewed for Jamie Garner on the overboard team. Him and Cole for first quarter last year on Monster Jam. That was a really fun experience. Learned a lot from Cole and Jamie and Eddie Micah and, being in the trailer with Lil John all day, you know what I mean? Kind of learned to get to know everybody better and see stuff on the bigger scale from the inside instead of just on TV. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I went to Monster Jam shows growing up as a kid, but never really worked at them. And then once I got that opportunity to go, I was all in, on the Yellow Stadium tour last year with them. And those two trucks week in, week out, put a whooping on all the company trucks. And it was a good time, man. Loved working there, and Jamie's has a class act team, that's for sure. You know what I mean? Great equipment, great people. And then I went back to work for Bill, drove the rest of the summer last year, and then during first quarter this year, I got kind of was looking to kind of just step away for a little bit just to get a breather. Because it's just been nonstop monster trucks. So I just kind of wanted to have a little, like a summer maybe to myself and, just kind of hang out at home with everybody and just kind of catch up on things. And, but that wasn't the case. I saw a post from Mike Christensen with Throttle Monsters, and he was in people, and I was just kind of at the right place at the right time, and got hired on by them.
Man, that's a crazy walk right there. And also, I mean, there's different avenues to learn what's going on in this company. And you took a route with Bill Payne. And outside of, I think, a lot of people getting into the threshold of working on a Monster Truck team with like going to Monster Jam or Foot or even anyone else, I think it's an awesome crash course to be with the learn stuff from Bill Payne, because outside of that, he drives the trucks just as hard as one of those company drivers. He'll drive the truck, destroys it, like completely gone. But
every weekend, man.
Yeah, you'll learn how to fix it though, and you learn how to put everything back together and stuff like that. And for me, I mean, in West Virginia where I lived, there's not really a lot of monster trucks. The closest guy technically would have been Joey Sylvester, but by the time I already got my feet wet with doing track crewing and stuff like that, he kind of already semi-retired, or he was looking at another avenue, and he already sold the truck to Jerry and Aaron. And so I had to go do a crash course in that stable. And it's with Monster Jam especially, and I think I don't know what was Bill like, but I think he'd maybe be a little bit more patient than some of the other guys. But the other guys were also patient too. Well, I'm talking about independent wise, but in the company, they're patient because they know what's going on. But still, when it comes to first quarter, it's gone, like boom. It's fast paced. You gotta keep on going until when the schedule is over with after Vegas, and then they go, oh yeah, we have about 3 or 4 shows after Vegas and the World Finals for you to keep on going. And then during my time period, my first year, I had Cole. I was a third guy for Cole and Woos, Grey Digger the Legend, and Soldier Fortune. So I learned a lot from him starting out. But yeah, it was kind of crazy because I had a 3-year gap with Feld, and then I went from there to Jerry and Aaron with Dirt Crew and Quad Chaos. And I'm not afraid to admit this, but I got fired. No, I can't. That stuff happens. But within a few weeks, I got picked up by Mark and Tim Hall Brothers Racing, and then I'm with them ever since. But it's still crazy to know about. Just sometimes people just think, oh, Dawson just got into this and that. They don't know that you worked your tail off with Bill and stuff like that. And what was one thing that you still to this day go in your mind that you have learned from Bill?
Just be ready. Just always be ready. Anything can happen at any point in the show. You know what I mean? Just how to prepare yourself best for the absolute worst that's going to come out of a show. You know what I mean? From running, being a track guy to being in the truck. You got to learn all aspects from it. And I kind of, I did. I mean, I was his track guy for almost a year before I got thrown inside the reverse racer truck. It's the first one I drove for him back a couple of years back. Actually, Brad was at my first show, actually. So it was kind of cool to kind of see it all come full circle and, see everything from the inside of a show, and then, actually be in the truck and kind of see how everything outside works. And that's kind of one thing I've learned mostly from Bill, is kind of just how to learn to do almost everything with a show and kind of run with it and just try to do it your own way and what works for you, and just to be prepared for it.
So, and I'm going to go a little bit off course here where we're going, but I'm kind of interested on this story. Your first time going behind the wheel of a semi. I'm assuming it was a 13-speed or maybe more manual transmission truck, or maybe automatic, but still, I'll tell you mine before yours.
Okay.
Okay. So I got my permit, and we're going to a Monster Jam event in Moline, Illinois. And I'm going ahead and I'm in this Peterbilt 638 or whatever, I'm trying to act knowledgeable. I don't even know the numbers. We call it Unit 6. And I'm trying to get ready to go, and Kurt was helping me out, and he says, okay, start, moving. And I couldn't tell about the RPMs, and I'm double clutching, and I'm in the highway going about 20 miles an hour because I can't get myself out of third gear because every single time I'm trying to get it goes out. So, and then Kurt had to go back in and drive, and then when we get to the arena, we unhooked the semi, and then kind of when you had time beforehand, Kurt showed me the gears, but that was a little bit intimidating driving a semi truck going about 25 miles an hour on Interstate 74. So that was my story.
Oh, yeah.
How about yours?
Mine was we were actually at a red light. I was in the semi with Travis Ybarra, and we were sitting there, and he's like, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You're driving," and then gets up and walks to the back of the semi. I was like, "Oh, this is how it's going to happen." Okay, got in the seat and just grinded them until I found him and kept on trucking from there. It was a long 6 hours that I drove that shift. I'm pretty sure we left probably half a transmission back there in Idaho, but I mean, we got there in one piece for the most part, and just kind of started driving on from there. Just every chance I kind of got to, I was always paired up with Nick or Dallas in a semi, and just whenever chance, I got to get behind the wheel, I did just to learn it from every aspect possible, from going, slow at intersections through the middle of town, or out there, wide open on the highway. Just kind of did whatever you could just to learn each more. So,
and to maybe
it wasn't too terrible, but I mean, she was definitely hating life for a little bit until we got up to speed.
I bet. Yeah, it started to grow on me too, and then it's now I've learned to flow shift and just one key I learned so much. Actually, I learned it from Aaron Kane from Quad Chaos. He says he always told me, and it always stuck to my mind, and it helped me when I got my license. More the better. If you have to make room. Yep. They'll move.
Right.
know.
They'll move, definitely.
If you have an opportunity to take as much, if they go in the other lane, go the other lane. You're not going to get penalized.
Right.
Cops and stuff like that understand that these things are not Corvettes. So, and stuff like that. But maybe people may not know how important is it to have a CDL?
It's actually very important. I actually don't have one right now. All of Bill's stuff were registered motorhomes in the state of Washington. So that's how he could have really kind of anybody just hop in and go, you know what I mean? That could drive a semi, or, that could get the concept or whatever, get it down the road to the next one. I'm actually in the process of getting my CDL this winter. So like when we have downtime and whatnot, when I'm away from the trucks, I'm gonna try to get that because it helps, you know what I mean? That's one of the first questions Mike asked me, when he hired me. Do you have a CDL? And I was like, no. And that's kind of, it hurts now because everything has to be more legal, and it's, everything's getting down to the nitty gritty of stuff where you can't just like skate by no more. You know what I mean? Everything has to be, legal and more professional. So like that, I mean, it's a main factor now coming into being on different teams, and, if you just want your own stuff. You know what I mean? You have to have a CDL to have your rig go up and down the road for your own truck anymore. So it's pretty important. I mean, if anybody got one and they're, still looking for a job or, anything like that, I mean, that's one good thing about it as well, is you always have a job. You know what I mean? You can always call a trucking company or something like that. Hey, I have a CDL, and you can go to work right away. You know what I mean? Driving the semi is not really my favorite part, you know what I mean? Because it's a lot just looking at a windshield all day. But I mean, again, it's part of the job. You know what I mean? I don't like sitting there at 2 a.m. fixing trucks, getting ready for the next show. But again, it's part of the job. So
yeah. It's always like that too. Loading up the. Well, I really dislike. Well, sometimes it's not really dislike, but it's the time when you done with the show, fix what you need to fix. Load the truck,
right,
head on out, then find like a truck stop and hope to God that there's one spot open and you don't have to call reserve and spend the company money to get a reserve parking spot, or hopefully a rest area just a few hours down the road. But then again, it's the, I mean, I can't deny how awesome sometimes it is while you're driving down the road and you're like crossing Wyoming or Utah and you see all the awesome, all the
yeah.
stuff. And then you go out east and you may be doing a show in Erie, Pennsylvania, or,
Yep.
Going to, West Virginia, and you're seeing all the like different parts of the United States is so awesome. And, I did the flying gig with the crew guy, and, going to airport, it was like, all right. But when I got finally, my first kind of big road trip was actually with the guy who commented first, Stephen Walker. And we went from, Illinois to Colorado Springs. And then we went from there to, so I'm going to screw it up, but I think it's Salina, California.
Kansas?
Salina.
Oh, California. Or Salinas? Yeah.
Yeah. And we went there. And we also saw our good buddy Kurt put his foot in the water and soaked up his boot. But, it's always a crazy experience, and I think it's awesome. And another experience that I think people may not know is how about you is you had a cool you're have a cool ride anyway right now, but you had an experience with sponsorship. You had during Bill's during your Tinder year with Bill, he put you behind the seat of, I think, the Honda monster truck, the sponsor one. I don't know the exact name of that truck. What was the name?
It was high voltage, but it was just sponsored by Honda generators.
Okay.
They actually sponsored Bill a couple generators. Very generous of them. They sponsored them, I believe, 7 of the small ones, and then like 2 of the bigger ones. And man, those things are pretty rad, man. They've you could sit there and weld, charge the trailer, and charge the trucks all at the same time on one of those big ones, and that's pretty impressive. You know what I mean? Out there on the road, and they always kept the trucks all charged, and they were light to pack around. They weren't noisy. You know what I mean? They weren't gas guzzlers. They were like, I personally have one, and it's awesome. You know what I mean? So like they when he wanted to put me in that truck instead of the kid, because I drove the kid for my first year-ish there. And then the next year I went there, he put me inside of high voltage, man. I loved it. The long wheelbase, center seat, more traditional style truck compared to the kid. Kid was fun and squirrely, but at the same time, it was a very hard truck to drive. But I mean, that was a good experience to drive that one, because he told me if I could drive the kid, I could drive anything out there. So, and I'm kind of true to that statement still. I mean, I'm sitting here, I could, I've driven the new CRD that we have. I've driven the new Cohen. I've driven Paul's truck, his own chassis. And I felt like I've done a pretty good job of wheeling those things around so far. But yeah, the Honda high voltage truck was actually really fun. It was open differential front and rear, which a lot of people are kind of surprised about. But I mean, at the same time, that's what made it fun, I think, because it was a good race truck. I would always beat Bill because he would be drifting way out there, taking his mom out to lunch or whatever. As I would sit there and, me and Dwight would make the corners like that because we had open diff trucks, and it was always fun driving that thing. It was a great piece. It handled good. I'd love to drive that thing again. To be honest.
One thing you said about the Cali Kid, one of the original guys that drove it with Bill Payne was BJ Johnson, and I was this crew guy for Gas Monkey, and all he always talked about was how fun that Cali Kid truck was to drive. It was hard to handle, but it was fun to drive. And he wasn't the only one, especially you just said that it's fun to drive, but it's squirrely and stuff that. But how was let's go more in depth behind the wheel of that truck, because a lot of people may not know that the motor is actually kind of close to you, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's right there. It's a front engine truck, center seat, short wheelbase. I believe it's the shortest competition wheelbase out there still. And that thing, it was a handful. It was, it had a locker in the rear, open in the front, the 5-ton top loaders on it, short little wheelbase truck. I believe it was 20-inch shocks and then 26-inch in the rear. So it didn't have much travel. So if you jump the thing, it kind of hurt, but, like you can get a slap wheelie like that without even thinking about it. The truck would do a lot of the work for you, but you just got to, be on the other side, the high side of it, and make sure that you are still in control of the truck. And before it, took a turn on you and, put you on your lid, which it put me on his lid a couple times, but that's all part, learning how to drive and whatnot. So, I mean, that truck it was fun. The front engine, the zoomies right there in your face, it was loud, it was wild and crazy. So, that truck was definitely a
how about
handful. But I mean,
visually?
visual, it wasn't too bad. The cage kind of stuck out in the front there. But visually, you had about, I don't know, probably a 12-inch, a foot wide windshield all the way across. And then, you had your two side windows, but I mean, the air pillars were pretty thick on that old Ford body. The only way in and out of the truck was either through the windshield or through the roof cut. But so if you rolled that thing, I mean, you're staying in it. So it wasn't too bad of a truck. It was definitely fun, definitely something different compared to the other trucks that he has or I've driven before. That thing was definitely fun though, definitely fun.
So we're gonna once again change the gears a little bit and
Yeah.
talk about for how how young you are, just taking the leap of joining a team and going out of your comfort zone and pretty much living hotel to hotel, rig to rig.
Right.
How did you get the confidence build of understanding that you're now, I guess, work life is a little bit different than others and maybe close enough to maybe someone living in the military? I know it's nothing close,
Right.
just the idea of you're going and doing your thing, but
It was really it was kind of just a right moment in my life to just say, you know what, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? I've always wanted to, and I finally have the opportunity. Why waste it? You know what I mean? You only live life once, right? So I knew this is something I always wanted to do. And any way I had to do it or get my foot in the door or really start it, I was gonna do. You know what I mean? Like I said, I drove 2 hours to meet Bill at a show. And then, the rest is history from there. A week or two later, I was full time for him. You know what I mean? Going up and down the road in the semis, hotels every week and, just, being on the road, being away from home, being away from everybody. It was definitely hard to get adjusted to that and not to see, my family every day or, you know what I mean? I had kind of a new family really, being on his team. But they made the process, very easy. They know, they've had a lot of guys go through their team, and, it was just kind of like to them, it was just helping me get adjusted to, A, more focus on work and B, just kind of like, don't worry about it type deal. Everything's still going to be there, when you come back, your mom, dad aren't going nowhere, the house ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, my parents have lived in that house that they still live in for the last, 15, 16 years now. That's my childhood home. So like to leave that and everyone kind of behind was definitely tough. But it was easier to get adjusted with people that just, wanted you around and like, just to keep you busy too. They, like Bill kept me very, very busy all the time. So it kind of kept my mind off it. And, just to take that first step was hard, but once you did it and got adjusted pretty quickly, then you kind of, you just figure it out from there. And, that's kind of still what I'm doing today. I took, almost a month off before I came here and, I was getting used to home life again. And I was like, oh, this is a lot better than, being on a road or in a semi right now. And, and when I started talking to Mike, I kind of wanted the itch to get back in it. And you know what I mean? Like, I still want to be home, but at the same time, this is kind of, this is what I do. You're a monster guy now. You know what I mean? You're in the industry, so like you kind of got to go where the work is. You know what I mean? The work doesn't come to you very often. You know what I mean? That's just a show. So you got to go where the work is. And, that's kind of what it came down to and what I just said, all right, this is what I got to do. So you got to do it.
And it's awesome to know also the family that you now have because I know a lot of those guys. I lived with some of them, and your home state, teammate also, too tall, David Alford.
Yep.
And also you have Michael Brister, and then I call him. People call him Cheech, but he's Cheech 2.0. He knows who he is.
He's 2.0.
And still, having those guys around, they have done a lot also. They came from the Feld side of it. Too Tall's been through hell and high water. And, he's doing his thing, but how is it with those guys? I mean, it got to be a good time. I mean,
it's fun. You know what I mean? Brister, Cheech, and Too Tall, Mike and Paul. I mean, everybody around, Rudy. They're good guys, man, and they're just like me. They are born to do this type deal. They just want to do it. You know what I mean? They don't care. They'll stay up late, putting the hours in the shop. They'll put the hours in driving the Rayas up and down the road. Just sign every last autograph possible that they can. You know what I mean? That's what makes it fun. When you have a group of guys that are, that just click right off the bat and, they work very well together. And just, they just have the same common goal. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, they all want it just as bad as the guy next to them. You know what I mean? I'd sit there and do, anything for them. You know what I mean? Whether it's here at the house, if they, need a ride to or from the airport, or, in the show, they need, help swapping a transmission or, anything like that. I'd do anything for them. I got their backs. That's just like they got mine. So it definitely makes it easier when everyone's on the same page and everyone's just, just wanting to be here and wanting to do it. That's the biggest difference, because once, you have one bad attitude in the shop, or, somebody just doesn't want to do it, or, just gets lazy or whatever, then kind of brings everybody down and just kind of, then it just creates tension. You know what I mean? So all the guys here, they put their heads down, they work, we joke and laugh at the shop and on the road all the time. But I mean, when the works right there in front of us, we get it done, and, just keep on keeping on.
Right on. And let's talk about, I guess with the team, you guys have like an A, B, C, D, I think all the way to Z. I don't know how many guys might have.
Yeah.
Still, you and Too Tall are, I guess, one group, and then Paul and Mike are another, and then Brister and Cheech or Mike is another group, and I think there's a C group too. Sorry for those guys. I maybe need to learn a little bit more. I do apologize, but
no, it's not good, man. Yeah, we have kind of a 3-team setup right now. We are the fastest growing team in monster trucks right now, period. You know what I mean? We got everything from, ride trucks to monster trucks to, 3 semis to, what is it now? 7 guys on the team now. You know what I mean? It's a lot more from February when we first, me and Too Tall, we're in the shop with Mike and Paul building the 2 new trucks. It was just 4 of us, you know what I mean? So it was kind of cool to see, how quickly everything expanded and how everything's getting, adjusted very quickly. And to kind of have a team here and there and over here, it's kind of crazy. But for the most part, we try to stay together. Mike and Paul have, 1 semi. Me and Too Tall got the other. And then Brister has his own semi with Rudy and Cheech. You know what I mean? We're kind of just running everything we possibly can right now, trying to get through the COVID year. You know what I mean? Like, we took 2 months off from March, April. Oh no, sorry, 3. March, April, and almost June. We took those months off for COVID because, nothing was going on. You know what I mean? Kind of cut our season just like it did yours. Right there. And, then we kind of picked everything back up and started running our own shows and trying to do everything possible that we can to get, monster trucks back out to the public and get everyone out of quarantine and, over this COVID stuff to try to get, back to normal as possible and try to do shows again. But it's been a little tough trying to get all 3 teams going, especially when we're all in different places, you know what I mean? And some people have the parts for some trucks and different trailers and everything's getting mixed around. We're doing all the body swaps, we're doing all the truck swaps and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, I've driven the white Kamikaze, I've driven the black Kamikaze, I've driven the CRD, you know what I mean? I drove red solo truck, you know what I mean? Kind of like just the whole horde of everything, it's kind of just getting everyone adjusted and everyone at the right place, for the weekend possible. But it's crazy, but we're all dealing with it very well. We're all meshing good. And we're just trying to keep on keeping on throughout this year. And, hopefully next year, everything goes, back to normal, or we can have, 2 guys in 1 trailer, and so on and so forth with their 2 trucks for, however long they drive them, you know what I mean? And try to get everything more squared away. So
So that brings me to the first question in our questionnaire. We got a few questions here.
Yeah.
And Scott Bryant, awesome guy, crew with USA One and Overkill, and also drove Quadzilla. He said, speaking about the bodies and stuff like that, how do you like the old school truck body style of Rockwell's red?
The 64 Chevy, man, it's beautiful. It's even more beautiful on Hunter's new Wrecking Machine body. I think it looks killer. I like the concept of it, the old Chevy kind of team look that we got going on right now. I think it's mean. I think it's pretty slick. I love the Rockwell body. It looks good. You know what I mean? Like so does Hunter's Wrecking Machine. It looks good as well. I can't wait to see if we make up more bodies in the future with that body, to see what we can do and how wild and crazy we can get on that body itself. The 64 though, it's sweet. It's not too much of a pain to see out of. The hood's pretty square, so when you hit the gas, it kind of just goes right up in front of your face. So you gotta kind of be, wary of your surroundings or whatnot. But it's a nice body. I like it. It's different too. So
Right. And it's always a popular thing to see an old school truck look.
Right.
No matter what type of truck and whatnot it is. And also you have Rockwell representing Rockwell in general.
Right.
That's also cool. You're representing those guys too out west. But they do those are the watch company, right?
Watch and different apparel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they made the body Rockwell Red, which Red stands for Remember Everyone Deployed. So it's kind of like a big tribute / thank you to active veterans and people in the military right now, serving our country overseas and stuff like that. It's just a big thank you from Rockwell, and it's kind of cool that I've gotten to pilot that truck. A couple other of our guys have gotten to pilot that body before. It's cool just to have our team just represent that brand / that persona of appreciation for the military. It's pretty sweet.
I think another guy. I think he wants to know a little bit more about Mike and Paul, and that's Chris Weinquist. I'm sorry for screwing up your name. I do apologize. He said, "How do you like working for Team Throttle? Mike and Paul are awesome. I know we went a little bit in depth with the crew guys, but how cool is it dealing with Paul Jensen and Mike Christensen?"
Oh man, the history of those guys alone is awesome. And seeing Craig at the shop as well. It's cool. They're great guys, and just like everyone else on the team, they'll put their, they'll get arms deep in mud for you. If a truck rolls over, something like that, they'll be right there, wrenching on the trucks with you. You know what I mean? Paul's very busy with his construction company, but I mean, any chance that guy walks into the shop, he's working on something. You know what I mean? He's building. He just put in brand new cage on Hang Loose the other day. You know what I mean? And always ordering us parts and making sure we're all good to go and have everything we need to have to get up and down the road. You know what I mean? Mike's kind of in charge of his 2 trucks and his semi and trailer. In charge of all of us as well, running the shop and stuff like that. He's the main guy in the shop, but that doesn't mean anything. He'll sit there and sweep right next to you if we're cleaning the shop or if we're putting stuff away. You know what I mean? He'll sit there and wash trucks himself, everything. You know what I mean? Those guys, are some of the hardest working guys I've ever worked for, and that's awesome. You know what I mean? They're great guys. They respect the fact that all of us have kind of been around it and have our own experiences with dealing with stuff with the monsters. You know what I mean? Good or bad. You know what I mean? So they give us kind of our freedom to put our head down and work and get the stuff done that we need to get done. And at the end of the day, they're just like us. You know what I mean? They'll sit there and BS with you all night long. Have a couple beers, whatever. You know what I mean? They're great guys, and I love work for them. It's a great experience out here in Utah. You know what I mean? They got a class act team, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
And we got a couple outside the questions, but we got a couple shout outs for you. And a guy from the Monsters of the West. I could say Phil, or I could say Vincent, but it's Vincent. He says, "I personally seen Dawson work. Dude works hard. Has a passion for the sport. Definitely has a mission in this industry." He says, "See ya." That word right there. Yum reminds me of yum yum sauce from all that stuff. Dawson, keep up the grind.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, Vincent. We'll see you out there in you, my dude.
All right, let's see here. We got another one. Donald Stretcher.
Oh
I guess
yeah,
this is a
Donald
quickie.
Stretcher.
He said for Dawson, we know you for driving the monsters, but if you were to drive in a different form of motorsports, what would it be?
It really wouldn't be probably driving. It'd be more of probably. I'd love to actually get into motocross. To be honest, like just to kind of see how it all is set up and everything like that. Actually, like people don't really know about me, but I do like watching Supercross. I don't watch it very often, but like when I do, like it's always very intriguing. Just to see how people like some of the best monster drivers I've ever seen have came from that. Like Mike Vauders Jr. and Dan Bradshaw, just the truck control that they've had. You know what I mean? To transfer that over from one sport to the next, I think motocross would be kind of cool to do. I know it's very different, but at the same time, like I figured that I probably would, really enjoy that because it's very competitive. I'm very competitive. You know what I mean? Just to kind of see where I would be probably over there. That or probably short course racing. I've always loved, the desert trucks and stuff like that. That'd be really fun to do. Different side by side, four wide, jumping over tabletops, stuff like that, and rally trucks or dirt trucks. That'd be pretty sweet too.
Like the joke always says, right now, Dawson, you're already retirement age for motocross.
Yeah.
Time to go short course.
Yep.
That's always jokes. They already win like 4 or 5 championships, like Ryan Villopoto or Ryan Dungey. They're already gone. But still, that's like an avenue to go to. And a lot of guys, do the the European World Supercross type deal, the outdoor series and stuff. But we got a couple other. Paul Cole. So what's your favorite town in Iowa you did this summer?
Favorite town in Iowa we did this summer probably have to be Oskaloosa was actually pretty fun. Not gonna lie, Oskaloosa was fun. There's a lot of ups and a lot of downs to that one. Getting trucks ready to rock and roll for that show. It was cool for me because like I didn't drive that weekend. It was kind of my turn to sit out in the rotation of driving the trucks or whatever. And it was cool to actually sit there and for my first ever time to watch Hunter Souza drive. Kid's a natural talent. He just has it. He sticks in the truck and he goes, man. I mean, he's picked up very quickly. He's a great driver. I can't wait to see where that kid goes. See boss man Mike drive. It's always awesome watching Mike drive. He gets it on, man. He goes hard, for the full 2 minutes, for freestyle, for racing, the whole nine. He always throws down in Vendetta. I love watching Too Tall drive. Too Tall drives. He changes his style every weekend, which is cool. He drives his own way, but like he tries different things every weekend. He doesn't do the same thing. You know what I mean? Whether it be trying to do like different types of wheelies in the truck, different types of, jumps, like big air, cross threads, whatever, different moves, you know what I mean? From like bicycles to his stoppies. He's getting better and better each time with the stoppies. Watching Brister drive that weekend too was cool because finally to see him get comfortable in a truck and go out there and do his thing. It was awesome, to watch that as well. Oskaloosa was very fun. We had a good showing. Good track, hanging out with the good people. Tyler Maniga came and hung out with us for a little bit there. Just to watch and just hang out. That Oskaloosa was pretty fun. Iowa was a long month, but Oskaloosa wasn't bad.
And another one from Donald, he was talking about how was it transitioning from straight up racing to the Gardeners?
Very different, considering Bill was only 4 hours from my hometown where Jamie was on the other side of the country. I flew out from, I would drive Salem to Port Orchard, Washington, where Bill's from, 4 hours, so I'd go home on the weekends for the most part. Sometimes, when I had time off or whatnot. But then transitioning to going all the way out there, it was very different to go all the way out to North Carolina to go coal shop for the first time. To kind of see, Grandy and everything like that, where the digger shop is, and see how like more involved and like more monster trucky and like just lifted up trucks or whatever it is out on that side of the country compared to this to the West Coast. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a hard transition. It was definitely different, going from a 7-truck team with multiple semis and multiple guys to, a 2-truck team or a 3-truck team at the time. And, kind of, downsizing was a big thing that I learned really, really quickly. And sitting there with Cole and Jamie and Zach and, Lil Zimmer, Big John, and Eddie, it was definitely cool. I loved it. It wasn't that hard of a transition. It was definitely getting, different and getting used to it. Doing the Mosh Jam thing compared to, doing Bill shows. We're at a speedway, every other week compared to being, a big football stadium every weekend. That was kind of different. But it was fun. I liked it. I liked the transition. It was great change of scenery and great change of pace, which is kind of hard to find when you're doing the same thing every weekend. But it was fun. I liked it. It wasn't too bad.
So Brad has a few questions that I transferred over here, and it's kind of like a fantasy type deal. Two of them, and one of them is, if you had a chance to line up with any racer, past or present, who would it be?
Past or present? Past would definitely be Dan Ronte. I would love to race him in Bigfoot. I'm a huge Penda fan. Okay, so I love Penda Moss trucks. I watched that, ever since I was a little kid to now. I still watch it.
Mm-hmm.
In his 95 season, man, he was just on fire. And that Power Wheels Bigfoot would just hook and go no matter what track he was at. So I loved watching that. And I would love to get the chance to race him in his prime. He'd probably spank me, no doubt about it. But it'd always be cool to race the man. That's for sure.
And how about today? If there's anyone right now that
today, well, for the longest time, I actually said Cole, and then I got the chance to do that at Throwdown for the first time. I mean, he still whooped my butt, but I mean, it was still awesome to finally race Cole. Today, I would like to, probably love to race Adam. To be honest, Adam Anderson. You know what I mean? Because I've met the guy a couple of times, hung out with him at his house before and stuff like that, working with Cole and everything like that, and just to see, where he's been and what he's done, all of his career or whatever, that'd be cool to race him finally. Because I mean, I loved watching him from day one. You know what I mean? You could tell he had it when he drove Vet King, and and Taz, he was just absolutely, jaw dropping in Taz, and then even better in the Legend, and then making the transition from Legend to the digger truck that he's in now. I mean, the guy's just, he's the man right now. You know what I mean? So to race him or even Ryan, one of the Andersons to line up against one of them would be pretty sweet.
And now his second one though is not present but past. What his basis on this? What old school truck? When he says old school, Leafer truck you would like to drive, and what truck in the Gen 3 pre 2010 truck? So that's two questions in one. But old school as in Leafer, or I'm assuming one of those Penda trucks, right?
Right.
What truck would you love to drive or try to?
Leafer probably would have to be Grandma Digger. That thing looked like it got rowdy, man. That looked like a handful and looked like really fun. That'd be pretty sweet to drive that truck. Like the early 2000s trucks, I would probably either have to say Raging Steel or would be Pablo Huffaker's Blacksmith. Because those trucks just, I know that it was a company-owned truck, Raging Steel, but Blacksmith was Pablo's truck, and that thing looked like, no matter what Pablo threw at it, he the truck just ate it up. You know what I mean? It just looked like it worked so good for its time. It looked way ahead of its time, too, for the early 2000s. I mean, you watch this World Finals 3 run. Pablo was just straight getting it on. No matter what he threw at that truck, it took it. You know what I mean? From hitting the camper to airing out the bus stacks, the truck just did it. You know what I mean? With a snap of your finger, that thing did a donut. It just looked like it was just mean. And that would be one truck that would be really fun to drive.
How about the Penda? I know you're a Penda guy, so let's ask it. What truck?
God, either 97 Barefoot or the Power Wheels Bigfoot for sure.
Right
Those two trucks they were that's the fastest trucks I've ever seen in my life. Those things just straight got it on. No matter, even that one run where Fred did a wheelie all the way across both stacks and landed, may have won or lost that race, but dude, that the amount of power it takes to lift up one of those trucks and stand it on its ass end like that, it's insane. It's that's some power. Doing 4 seconds, on the track that they had is just insane.
Yeah. I was talking to Mark Hall, and I was like, "Man, what did you get your type of training?" He said, "Penna." And I was like, "That's pretty good training right there." Just how to handle how fast a truck is. That's it. Foot to the floor.
It's 2 jumps and foot to the floor, and whoever crosses the finish line goes to the next round. If not, you're packing your stuff up and going home. So
right.
You kind of get the concept of monster truck racing really quick with those days.
Right. And this is one of mine, and I've been kind of going with the couple last few guests. But what's the coolest thing you have crushed?
I got the chance to well, actually, I didn't crush it. I jumped right over it and scared the crap out of me. It was a Greyhound bus, actually. In Terrace, BC, 2 years ago. We built this big, massive course. Had 2 bus stacks, had a big arena pod in the center with cars and jumps all over the track. And Bill drug out this Greyhound bus from one of the junkyards and threw it out there and put a big old dirt mound over the center of it. And man, we were skying over that thing all weekend long, man. And it was pretty insane to be up in the truck above it and be like, dang, that's a full size Greyhound bus underneath me, and I'm almost 10 feet above it. You know what I mean? So hitting that thing was pretty cool. That or a motorhome. Motorhomes are sketchy. Motorhomes are fun to crush, but the first time you go through them, it's definitely an eerie feeling that you're just going straight through something that people have stayed in before. Those 2 things have definitely been probably the coolest thing I've crushed. And
our common questions, Brad says it's hard hitting, but I think if you have watched a couple of our episodes, you probably know what I'm going to ask you here. So the first one is, and it was blown up on my chat in the beginning of the talk here, Mr. Brandon Culpepper Sr., the 3rd, the 5th, the 6th. I don't know what number he's at. He wanted to know what's your favorite pie?
Favorite pie? Well, actually, my mom makes this what's called a mock apple pie. Okay, she uses Ritz crackers and a bunch of other seasonings, and it tastes just like apple pie. And I'll tell you what, right there, that I put it up against any slice of pie in the world. It is so good. And she always makes it just for Thanksgiving and for Christmas and stuff like that. But my mom's mock apple pie is definitely takes the pie.
Takes the cake.
Takes the cake.
All right, the next one is I'm not gonna. Do you like or dislike eggnog?
Don't like it. Absolutely disgusting. Sorry.
All right,
not a fan.
Which brings to the next one. Those Tuesday before Christmas, Brad has to drink a gallon of eggnog. If you want to be a little guest, support him on this awakening, you're more welcome to. Because this is what happens when you talk and you talk a trash game and you lose. So this is what happens. And if you bet something that you don't like and you think you're gonna get away with it, nah, that's not it. But I softened the blow and I told him if he drinks it all within an hour, a gallon of eggnog within an hour, I'm getting him the new Metallica with the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra vinyl set. So I'll look for that and get it for him if he makes it. If not, he has to wear, I think, a Calgary Frames shirt or jersey that he despised or something like that.
Oh no!
Yeah, some team he doesn't like, but it's his own grave that he's stepping on. So it is what it is. I'm just not
a gallon of eggnog. That's a lot of, I know the gallon of milk challenge is still a thing, right? But that's, that's even worse because eggnog, it's not good.
No, but he has to do it within an hour. So he can pace himself, but he has to drink in like that. So You know, it's the way it goes. But we still have there's I think Kara. She says Dawson, my nephew. Have fun.
Oh,
Love
my
it.
Aunt Carrie, yeah. Love you too.
Let's see here. Haven't seen Levi for a while. He said Supercross Fantasy League, Dawson.
You're on, man.
Jason Court says I'll race you.
I'll race you anytime, Jason.
And there's still a lot of love there. So that's pretty cool. While we're coming to a close here, is there any social media people can follow you by?
Yeah, my Instagram is Rayas_1, and you can just look me up on Facebook, Dawson Rayas. Send me a friend request. Get to know me better. The podcast kind of covered a lot of the stuff I want to talk about, and just kind of I'm young, I'm new in the sport, but man, I don't plan on going anywhere for a while. So you guys follow me up. My journey's just beginning, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here. So,
and what's your next event? Next few events, do you know? Or
we got St. George, Utah this weekend, and then that's 2 shows on Saturday, and then we have Yuma, Arizona next weekend, and that's where Vincent will see me. So see you there, buddy. And I think we have a couple shows in November to be determined yet. I'm still trying to figure stuff out. But then I believe Abilene, Texas will be our last show mid-November or so. So that's kind of where we're at now, just playing it by ear again, like this whole year has been. But follow Team Throttle Monster as well on Instagram. Just follow us. We're the fastest growing team of Moss Trucks. So stay tuned. We got some big stuff coming. So should be fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. And that's hopefully see you guys down the road. We don't even know what's going on. I think we're doing a bunch of dealerships, but we're just trying to figure out what's going on for first quarter, because I don't think anyone knows what's going on for first quarter right now. So
no, we've heard so many different things from Moss Jam might happen, Moss Jam might not happen. Toughest is probably going to start later in the year for Mike and Paul. Just kind of just playing everything by ear and seeing if we're either going to do our own tour or, kind of what we're doing now or, something else. So we're playing it by ear just like everybody else is, kind of just figuring out everything. If not, we get a couple more months to, break more stuff down and get everything ready to rock and roll again. So.
Right. Because, it's just crazy for us, Hall Brothers. We kind of did our first quarter prep during the time of COVID was going on. So really it's going to be awkward for us between late October to, the beginning of the year, because technically all the trucks went through. The transmissions got taken out, took the colon, went through, came back. Motors are all fresh. And checking the axles and everything. I'll put new axles and stuff. These trucks are ready for first quarter, but they were all put together in May. So, and between May and now, we only have done 2 really race shows, and we're going to have one soon, which I totally forgot, November 7th at Tri-City Raceway in Granite City, Illinois. If anyone doesn't know where Granite City, Illinois is, go ahead and Google and search the truck Taurus. And then you can go from there. But we're going to be there with Bigfoot and a couple other monster trucks, so Bigfoot's hosting it.
That's another truck. Dang, you said Taurus. I'd love to drive Taurus 3. Darn it, that was one of my favorite trucks too. Dang, I didn't say that.
It's all good. Just hit it right now. There we go. Take it back.
Yeah.
Take Taurus 3.
Yep.
Well, there's a Taurus 3 in Indiana if you ever want a chance to get
I know.
that.
When I worked for Jamie, I almost took a day off just to go down there and just check everything out. But it was like 4 or 5 hours away from where he lived. I was like, oh man. But I'd still love to go out there. I'm trying to make the next, Hall of Fame event. I want to try to be there. Same thing, with the next World Finals. I try to want to be there too, just to kind of, because I still love going to events, even though I'm a monster guy now. But like I, do week in, week out. I still love going to the event as a fan and just watching stuff. You know what I mean? It's still, it's still, still fun to me now.
People always ask me, they're like, so you work on monster trucks? Yes. And on your day off, you get to a show. Yeah.
Yep.
I just like going to. Well,
exactly. Still, if I still like it, why not? Why stop?
Right.
So,
And
it's
can't
fun.
do
I can
that.
see someone else tear up their stuff and not have to fix it. So,
Right.
that's always a fun part too.
But the problem, another problem is if you know someone that's at the show, there's this thing called the twister, and then somehow you get whoop, and somehow you planned on not working, but you're working.
Yep, there goes your nice clothes that you wear on Sunday. So,
yep. But that they try to do that, but still, it's the love of the game, and if the way it goes, that's the way she goes.
Yep.
But,
that's the way she goes.
Man, thank you for being on. It was good to talk about your side of the story. Sorry Brad missed it, but he had his other obligations. But we know that you have yours too, and if we would have done it tomorrow, you would have been able to. We had to reschedule. So
right. Yep.
No problem there. So at least we got you on. We'll get you on more times and then.
Oh yeah.
Other time, but man, thank you so much for being on, and hopefully see you soon.
Absolutely, man. Thank you guys for having me. Thanks for everyone watching, and just keep on doing your thing, Cheech. You're doing good too. I've heard stories about you from Too Tall and everything like that. From you've been around the block, so we all know the game, man. So just keep on keeping on, bro.
Go ask Too Tall about the Gary Porter story. Did he ever tell you about
the Gary
that?
Porter story? No, he never told me about that.
Me and him in Bristol, we played MTM Monster Truck Madness on the N64, and we had I guess some of the games were like ice. I'm gonna tell the story straight. Hockey or soccer, kind of like a really old fashioned Rocket League.
Oh yeah.
And it was me and Too Tall against Brister and the AI. And every single time we did the show, the AI was Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher. So I'm trying to play defense and going on, and and then I lose. I'm going after Brister, and so it's Too Tall. And guess who's coming around the behind? Gary Porter and Carolina Crusher. I'm just yelling, Carolina Crusher, Gary Porter, come back here. And we're just all laughing and stuff like that because he's shooting golds, and we're like, someone needs to follow Gary Porter. And I'm trying to keep up. Maybe I shouldn't use like Boogie Van or NWO Outsider.
Right.
But I'm trying to keep up with the guy, and the guy was like, oh, come back here. And so I have it was just a fun inside joke between that and then we always had war tournaments and stuff like that, calling each other out, saying you land on the throttle, third member.
Oh yeah, we did the same thing here at the house because Brister and Cheech are staying at this house with me. And
where are they at? Are they there?
No, they Brister's actually in I believe Texas right now. Yeah, Lubbock, Texas is where he's at this weekend with Rudy. Oh, okay. And then Cheech is actually just took off today with Mike and Too Tall to go out to St. George. I had to stay back because I had to load up a ride truck and load up a couple other things for the concession stands, stuff like that, little stuff here and there, and take some parts down to St. George for a machinist down there. So I got the short end of the straw. I'd stay an extra day, but it is what it is, man. You got to do what you got to do, right? So
how far is St. George, Utah from Oregon?
I think it's 5 hours from here. So not too bad of a drive. We'll be home Sunday, so but it's all good.
If anyone is watching that's planning on going to that show, do you know what's the lineup?
Yes, it is Wrecking Machine, Vendetta, Kamikaze, and Rockwell Red. So it'll be the 4 core Team Throttle Monster trucks there, all the new ones, all the good ones. Those trucks will be there. It'll be Mike, Paul, Zach, and Too Tall driving. And then we'll go out to Arizona with the same 4 out there in Yuma. So if you guys want to come check us out, it'd be 4 shows technically, but 2 good weekends to come see monster trucks. So pretty much you're going from Utah to Arizona, pretty much. So you'll be gone for 2 weeks, or you'll be back, or you'll be back home Sunday, or you have to. We'll probably be home Sunday, Monday. Take a day or 2 at the shop, get everything possibly we need. Or if we'll just, head out to St. George, who knows? Plans always change with monster trucks. So,
yeah, I hear you. But once again, man, thank you for being on. And thank you again. And hopefully we'll have you on next time. Sure. That's Dawson. I'm Dan Cheech. We're gonna play Brad's last or his little commercial, and then we'll be signing off. His little saying goes, I guess it's rubber side down and shiny side up. And I'm just gonna, so have fun. Have a good weekend. Catch you guys later.
Awesome. Thanks.
You're welcome.
If you're looking for quality designs, look no further than Bradley Shaw Designs. Bradley Shaw Designs can design anything from wraps, banners, posters, promotional items, and more. Bradley Shaw Designs is the exclusive digital graphics partner of the Renegade Monster Truck Tour and Route 2 Motorsports. If you're looking for more information, please check out www.bradleyshawdesigns.com.